guys and dolls, welcome back to my channel. Hot Mess Express here. If you hear a fan, it's because it's ungodly hot in this house and I don't have an air conditioner like my mom and my brother, so that's why. Also, if it seems like short stops and then like if it seems PC, it's because I still have no editing computer. So I'm doing with what I have, and it's really not easy, guys. It just really sucks. So, with that being said, hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Caitlin, aka Scissors and War Paint, and this is my first video since moving home. Really, first video, because I needed a break. I didn't have any want to put my business out, and I've sat down to record a ton of videos and I just ended up crying and just being like, that's it, I don't want to do anything, because I've been going through a lot lately, and I had to move back to Pennsylvania for reasons that are personal. I know that the people involved in the story that I would have told you would have been very angry with me, which at this point I don't care if they're angry anymore, but it's that thing where I don't want to cause drama anymore because I was just so upset and everything was just drama for the last 4 months that I just don't want to deal with it, you know what I mean? So the long story short of this situation is my living arrangements in Colorado, though they were absolutely beautiful and ideal, the person I was living with decided that they didn't want to be there anymore. And I had to, basically the long story short of that is they left, and in order to support myself I had to go back to work, which caused me to get a really serious infection in one of the sites, in my reduction site area. And basically what happened was I had to get it all cleaned out, which means getting rid of dead tissue. And then I was on bed rest. Sorry, my fan fell. So I was on bed rest for, well, I was supposed to be on bed rest until it healed. But the situation was that person that I was living with left, and I had nobody to take care of me anymore. So and my mom had already left because, as you saw, she was with me for a little bit of that time. And so I had to take care of myself, and the infection got more serious, and pretty much I was packing an open wound by myself. I was showering by myself. I was doing everything by myself when I wasn't supposed to be doing anything. And that was probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. On top of that, all the emotional shit that was going on in my life, and I felt very alone. For the first time in a long time, I felt like maybe I didn't need to be here. And, sorry, wow. I fell into a really deep depression, and I guess I'll just say, long story short, if my dog hadn't been here, she's the only thing that kept me alive. And I don't speak like that lightly. I went through a phase growing up where I self-harmed a lot, and so I don't talk about that lightly. I don't joke about that situation, but I had fantastic support, my mom and my dad. And if I didn't get rescued, which pretty much my family rescued me, they flew in, my dad flew in with my brother without telling me, and I basically had 2 days to pack everything I could take with me, and they drove me back to Pennsylvania. And it's a crazy thing because I had spent every penny I had on that house. I had sold furniture, and I don't see myself as a victim here because I put myself in that situation. I trusted somebody so completely that I trusted somebody and they let me down. And I know that this person is going to try and contact me after they see this video and say, "Oh, you're a liar." I have nothing to lie about. I've got money invested into that apartment I now have to pay because of someone else's mistake. I have all of the bills that they left me with because they decided they didn't want to work anymore. And I have debt because that person wasn't working. So I had to go out and find means to get the money. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I've come to terms with the debt that I have now and all of that. And I'm secure enough to know that I have a family who's not going to turn on me and turn their back on me. And, you know, they've been through the whole entire thing, and they know, they've seen every receipt, every detail that I've kept so strategically, because for some reason I knew this was going to happen. I have every receipt, I have every text message, I have every email, I have every contact, I have everything that proves that I did the most that I can. And honestly, if that's not good enough, then you know what? I've come to terms with the fact that I've gotten myself in a situation that's going to be very hard to get out of. So, all that aside, now I'm 8 minutes in. That is why I'm home. The baby is still with me. I don't know if you can see her over there. She's laying in her bed. I would never leave her, and I would never let that person I was living with have her because I had to beg them to bring her outside. So she's with me. She's spoiled rotten. My parents love her, and I don't think I've ever seen her so happy. She runs around and jumps up and down on things. She's very vocal. She's more vocal than she's ever been. And I look back and I say, wow, like, she was feeling everything I was feeling. Which again is insane because dogs, I never realized, feel everything like that. So, now that that's out of the way, I can tell you about how my breast reduction is. So basically, after I had to have that tissue removed, my breast, the way it was, the hole grew from about this big to about this big. And it took up the underside of my breast. And for about 2 weeks, I had to pack it with gauze every single day to avoid infection. I had to clean it every day. The whole drive home, I was stopping with my dad, and at every hotel, I would have to pack it 2 or 3 times a day. And so I kind of had to grow up in that aspect, like take care of myself a little bit. I couldn't believe that it was that serious, but so once I had I'm trying to think about how to say this. So once the hole was there, the tissue inside started to fall, or yeah, not fall, but like it started to lower itself into the hole and pretty much cover the hole from the inside. And that was what had to happen, you know. And so once the hole was about this big, maybe, the tissue fell through, so it kind of looked like that. And then the skin started growing around the outer edges over that tissue. And I'm happy to say that I am almost completely healed. And I am so happy. This is the best thing that's ever happened to me. And honestly, like, I try and tell everyone I know that is thinking about it, or, you know, even that doesn't even think about it, that doesn't need it. I try and tell everybody how great of a thing it was. Like, this has given me so much confidence, and I feel beautiful. I don't feel like I have these disgusting, like, sacs. And I think back and I'm like, why didn't I do that any, like, sooner? Like, and I think it's a lot of who I was with at the time. They liked me the way I was, and when I started changing, I think it gave them a little anxiety that they were losing me. Well, guess what? But I've never been happier. And it's insane being back here and seeing all of my friends that I knew and that I loved, and their reaction, and it just makes me feel so good. Guys, it's insane to be back where I was after a year. And I look back at the videos on here, me finally leaving there, and I'm like, oh my god. I had no idea. And my mom did warn me. But, you know what, guys? It's only up from here. And I'm excited to see where this is going. And thank you to everyone who has supported me since the beginning. Because y'all are going to see a lot of good stuff from me this year. A lot of good stuff. And thank you. Thanks, guys. See you in the next one.